Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to a new week here with Elevate Cafe. And yeah, just when you thought that things are okay regarding tariffs and all, we're starting to get a bit more talk out of the White House, and the markets have been a little bit jittery today. We made new all-time highs last week, and continuing to push forward. I don't think one day it's going to change this pretty decent trend upwards, but definitely we need to pay attention to kind of what's going on in here, see how much declining we have, if there are further new highs, if there are any heavier deterioration. So it's one day in July that we lost about 80 basis points, and we're going to continue to kind of follow along here. I'm not ready to. I did trade a little bit today, not a lot, but in case I feel like this continues, I would probably increase my short positions, and just go along with with what the market says. We know that we're going into a period of summer where things can look pretty tough, or usually they are weaker, pretty tough. It's a too strong of a word, but they're weaker in usually in August and September. So July tends to be half and half, but so I'm gonna try to continue to just kind of stay focused on a day by day basis and kind of what's going on, while keeping in mind the overall trend in here and the overall wave count. I'm watching to see if we can achieve a top of this wave 3, eventually the top of this wave 1, which it could be soon, or there could be a little bit more. The market will start to tell us if we're gonna see something where we're coming down like this, and then go back and then fall back. Then you start to label a larger wave 3 top over there, and then assume that you're probably having some kind of a fourth wave next with another push. Maybe this is kind of what's going to have a tendency to happen in the summer, where we're falling down in some kind of a wave 4, maybe even in a deeper wave 2, towards the fall. So I think bottom line is, like, it's hard to think that you're going to continue at a very strong rate over the next several months in the market. And that's where my head is at. The fact that we made a new all-time high is great, but then, like I said before, once you do, what happens to the price, and will they come and retest the breakout zone? Let me just change this up really quickly if I can. Right there, yeah. They're going to come and retest the 61.47 more than likely, and then will they start to drop back below that zone and start to shake the breakout buyers? You see, I mean, the fear and greed index is a little bit not extreme, but it's a little bit high, and things have gotten a little bit frothy in a lot of instances. So I will continue to watch that closely. And look what happened today. I mean, you've had basically one of the biggest levels of decline in quite a while here, and almost 4 stocks for everyone that advanced, if not more, and that led to a pretty significant move here into this advances versus declines. You can see that, and even this formation in here, it's a little bit interesting looking. The RSI, it's clearly positive. You're nowhere near 50 by the time you get there. Obviously, you have several days. So what we'll watch for distribution, because we had basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, now almost 10 days of uninterrupted rally in here, and this is the first day that we're stopping. And I'm looking at the volume; it's pretty high. So if we can see several more days of weakness, then we can think more of a short side. For right now, it's just a little bit of a sign. You're quite far, quite extended above the 50-day moving average, right? That's that's kind of one of the things I'm watching. You are basically, let's see in here, almost, we were up 7% above that. And if you look in previous situations, the price have a tendency not to get stretched too far, more than 8% above the 50-day. So there could be that the market will wait a little bit in here until this will catch up, will come back down and slow down. So I will definitely keep an eye. Then Bitcoin also, I don't know. I was expecting by now Bitcoin to break out. Like last week, things were looking quite strong and kind of ready to go. Especially after this kind of break in a little bit of a 1-2, and we seem to be slowing down, and that's not something that you want to see in when you're getting ready for a breakout after 1-2. The fact that we're stalling in here, I mean, there's nothing really wrong just yet. It's not like you've taken the low of this and this was just another X wave, but the more we linger up here, the worse it's going to be for price. So I'm just I'm just a little bit disappointed, I must say, in the lack of action from Bitcoin and the break. So I will continue to follow this count, but I'm losing a little bit of trust in it at the moment. Nothing really, nothing is necessarily deteriorated. But if you see 1-2, I mean, now it's not. Now it's another 1-2 in here, and that means you're getting ready for an explosion. It could happen, but it doesn't really feel like it. And with the equity market trying to pull back in here, might be tricky. So let's just kind of wait, have the finger on the trigger for exits if we're not breaking 63.70 in IBIT, and then going back to the price. If you're getting back below the 50-day, and especially if you're overtaking the low of this candle, I think we're going to look for a deeper pullback. And sometimes the market just doesn't want to go, and that's kind of the level that I was watching, and it tried, and it got rejected again. So I was saying that it could be some kind of a flat, but I kind of doubt it. So let's see what happens in here. It's the price action is very, very tight in Bitcoin, and it's not really responding kind of how I was thinking after this move. So you got to recognize that in price, and just kind of be vigilant, for a lack of a better word. So in conclusion, I would say that the markets are probably going to take a little bit of a breather in here. Watch them rip 3% tomorrow. I don't know, but I think, I know Trump kind of gave a leeway until about August 1st. And we could be just kind of when the tape gets heavy with this type of news back and forth and threats and stuff like that, the markets are getting jittery. And then if anything bad happens at the beginning of August, especially if August is usually not a good month along with September, you could be kind of starting to fall back into that corrective pattern. So let me show you really quickly, and I'm going to close off with this kind of what I've done today. I've taken a couple of losses, a couple of good wins. Like I was short Tesla last week, you guys remember, I shorted it up here, and it went up a little bit. This is a 4-hour chart, and then it crashed. Obviously I left the short over the weekend, and I came back in the morning. Obviously last night I couldn't close it because I don't have the 24-hour trading on my broker. But in the pre-market in the morning, I'm like, let me just kind of get out of there. So I got out of here. So it was a pretty good chunk from where we shorted it, like about 315 to 293 or 294. I got out something like that back there. So that was a good one. Roblox kicked me out. So the Roblox kicked me out at 108. So I had to stop above the high. So this one gave me a sting. And then Palantir also I shorted. I shorted this morning actually on this break. I thought this was a quick ABC and we're gonna go, and then it quickly pulled back. So I closed half of my position, where that orange is, right on this prior high, and then if we get back above and we close back about 61.8 in here, I'm probably gonna get rid of the whole thing and just kind of get out of there. The other one that I shorted was HIMS, and I got out right there. So I shorted this. I took a little bit of pain as it was moving up, but then this morning, you know, opened red, and I just kind of got out of there. And then TQQ, I shorted it on the weakness today. After this move, I mean, I know this is a triple leverage, so I'm going to show it on this, but you know, you can also look at that. So after I saw the failure to rally and kind of the tape being a little bit heavy, I'm like, let me just kind of short a little bit of TQQQ and see if I can get it lower. I'm going to watch it closely tomorrow, and I have my finger on the trigger. If this market turns and starts to rip and push, then I'll just, you know, get rid of it. I don't need to hang around. And then I reshorted ELF. ELF stopped me out. I think it was last week. You know, right here, it just made just a quick new high, and then it broke below the 20-day and closed below the 20. I'm going to show you something interesting. So I reshorted it, and this is, I mean, look what's going on in here. You know, look at this huge move that you have, and then you're trying to go and you can't, and you create this shooting star right there on the daily, and then you close negative like that. I mean, that's pretty bearish. Plus, you know, you're having a big loss of momentum. So I'm expecting them to do something like this eventually. Maybe even close this gap, and I don't know, that's not going to happen in 2-3 days. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough patience for that, but maybe at least to get it back to here, take some off, and then maybe back here. We'll see. But I'm willing to try again on ELF here. So that's kind of, you know, all I did. Not a whole lot. I mean, the futures are open now, and if I go on the 4-hour, you know, we're getting a little bit of weakness, 24 basis points. Nothing much. You know, Russell was pretty heavy today. And let's see what Bitcoin is doing. It's just kind of standing flat here. Again, you know, this could be a very nice ABC. Watch what happens up here above this kind of 110 to 40. You know, this high back here, and if we get back above that, that could be, you know, a nice signal to that a breakout is coming. So let's see. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.